Hello everybody, good evening. Apologies for just being a few minutes late. We could not get in. Couldn't get in for some reason. Hopefully we're okay. Anybody hopefully will be able to confirm we're in the right place. Yay, good evening Wendy. Here's my bookmark buddy. How are you? How's your walking going? Good evening, Christine. Yes, I think we're in the right place. Yeah, Philippa, good evening, my lovely. I couldn't get in. Didn't want to let me in. Brian, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, Tracy. Good evening. Hi, Angie. Hi, Pam. Chilly, hello. How are you? Steampunked out. Barbara, good evening. Oh, lovely Brian. By the way, Brian, answered your question earlier. I'll tell you in a minute. Jane, good evening. Sue, smashing, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Oh, right, don't worry. Grandchildren must come in, yes, first. Gail, good evening. Walking is going good for Wendy. That's fantastic, Wendy. Excellent. Really chuffed for that. Just got my copy. Jane, good evening, my lovely. How are you? Good evening, Carol. Oh, we're getting a lovely few people. Just getting comfy in my seat. Here we go. So we've got our part two. Part two. I know, where did that month go? It was a month since I did part one. Shelley, yeah, definitely. You are steampunked out. My goodness me. Oh, good evening, Mum. To everybody else, that's Angie. Yes, Shelley, you've been out and about and busy, haven't you? Hello. Oh, we've got a lovely few in. I'm so pleased. Thank you ever so much. Right then, so hopefully everybody can hear me and I know I'm in the right place. Liz, good evening. Brian, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Wendy, lovely, lovely. Good evening. Vanessa, hello, Ducker. Yeah, you're right. Hope you're okay, Angie. Smashing, thank you. Everybody, right then, so a month ago tonight, oh dear, that was a scary month. That's gone quick, hasn't it? We did, and I've got the examples in front of me, so if you weren't able to join in, then I've got the samples in front of me that we did on the last one. Oh, hi Jean. Oh, and Shelley's sold out of all her tea shanty CDs. Well done. That's brilliant. Well done you. That is really good. Yeah, so right, I need to concentrate now. So last month we did part one of the alphabets, and I have to say I can't get over, I'm bowled over by the amount of people that had a go at the examples that I was playing around with, and everybody's has come out so different and with the same same idea, but just different papers, different stamping, different people that they're sending them to, so therefore different colours, yeah, so it's been absolutely, I've been really chuffed to bits to see how many people have had a go. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Oh, good evening, Liz. Good evening. I'm hoping that you'll have a go at the ones that I'm going to show you this evening. Let's have a little go at these as well. So what I'm going to do is, we've got a fabulous amount in. Thank you ever so much for joining in. I have got my my floor crew with me. I will just introduce my floor crew. Mark, as usual. And yeah, so when I turn the camera round, he's going to
surprise you all.
surprises all. No, he's not going to surprise you all. He's going to answer any questions. But Philippa's in the house, Brian's in the house, Tracy's in the house as well. So who, as you know, are obviously Julie Hickey design through and through. Break them open and you'll see it running through their veins. So lots of, if you have got any questions, please do ask. If you've got anything at the end, obviously we will have a little look at the end. I always have a look at your comments. Thank you. And if there is anything, please do, please do ask. We love, thank you. Common nose better. Brian, he is common now. Best in the business. You're right, he is. It's best in my business, I can tell you. Right, I'm just going to turn the camera around, okay? So just bear with us 2 seconds. Sorry, I touched it and it didn't do anything. Oh, I know.
Usual.
There we go. Righty-ho. So, are we about there? Super duper. So. Right, so these are the ones that we did on our last month live. That I did. Just a little quick reminder of them. Obviously I did post them. They've all been on there. I'll just pull my sleeves up. I've got a bit of a pulley on today because it was a bit chilly this morning. It's proper right autumnal weather here in Lincolnshire. Anyway, so these are the ones that we did last time, and you can actually go back and have a little look at the video because it will be on YouTube, and you can have a little look as to how we do it. But if there's any questions at all after you've had a look at the YouTube video, please do ask any questions about these. Okay, so we had this one, which of course we're using the Profile Happy, which well, it's just perfect, isn't it? There's no words to say about the profile dies, really. Just before I forget, obviously all the stockists are of all of Julie's designs, no matter what they are. The stockists are on the top of the page, and we are very, very honoured to be one of them. Thrilled to bits, actually. And yeah, so just if you are looking to actually purchase anything after the live, you will see the list of the stockists at the top of the page. Anyway, so this is the profile die, and then we've used the alphabet die, the uppercase alphabet die on this one, yeah, so you can have a little look on YouTube how we did that. This is the Eclipse card, the one that I couldn't remember the name of. That we also did. This is usually my favourite stencil of all time on the background. We also made that last month, and we also made this one. And this is the one that we have seen so many different variations of, and it's absolutely a pleasure to see them, because it's so much fun to see what everybody's been up to. This one actually is the negative. Well, not the negative, but the waist. So I did this one afterwards. So where you can see this piece here, which is actually made up of just strips of coloured card stuck on a piece of card. This was actually the piece of card that it actually came out of. Now, you will see that this isn't actually terribly straight, but I thought I'm not going to waste it. I should have been more thoughtful, really, knowing that I could have used this for the waist. But I thought I'll make it up anyway, and it gives everybody an idea of what to do with your waist, and therefore you sort of get a 2-for-1 card, don't you? So that's what we did last month. So like I say, do have a little look back on those, because you might want to have a quick look as to what we were getting up to. All right, so we're going to first of all this evening. Well, I've got three ideas to show you this evening. Different ideas to what we did previously. So on this one, we're going to start with this one first. I've kept everything really quite simplistic. I've not gone into a lot of decoration, flower making and everything else. Of course, you can do that with any of these ideas. I've just kept them quite basic, because the idea is the technique that we're trying to get over and trying to show you with the alphabets, rather than making one project and taking the whole of the time up. So this one I'm going to show you right from scratch, and basically it's like the reverse of the one that I showed you with this one. So what I mean by the reverse is this is obviously on top of the card, and I used a separate piece of card to actually stick the strips of the lovely coloured paper, and this is where your scrap bits come in massively. Absolutely, this is why you never throw your scrap bits away, because these sort of cards, you use all your scrap bits up perfectly, and it's a great way of doing it. So if you just cut a little strip off something or whatever, just keep it in a little box together, and then when you're doing something like this, bring the box out and have a little look, see which colours go with whatever. But to be honest, you know, nice bright colours, different ones, all sorts of colours go together, don't they? You only have to look in the garden to see nature, how the colours go together there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in the card this time instead of out of the card. So very similar but different. That makes no sense at all, does it? Right, so that's going to be my front piece. I'll just get my bits and pieces out of my box. I've written on the bits of paper because they were very, very similar sizes, but I've just made a little note that I need to put my strips on that one. I've got my card blank. The card blank that I'm actually using is a 6x6, so you know roughly the size of what we're doing. It just goes on a 6x6. We are using, this evening, we're actually using the Sweet Pea as promised, because last month, we didn't use the Sweet Pea alphabet at all. Now, the Sweet Pea alphabet.
We've got Caroline and Anne's just come in.
Oh, smashing. Good evening, Caroline. Good evening, Anne. Thank you.
Marion.
And Marion. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Right, so we're just using the Sweet Pea alphabet at the moment, because last month, as you know, we used the first alphabet that Julie brought out. We were using all the capitals. We are actually going to use the capitals this evening again, but you do get with the Sweet Pea, you do get the capitals, and you do get the lowercase as well, which is really good, because you don't actually see these are separate purchases. So this is 1024, the code on this one, and this is 1025, the code on this one. But often you can see alphabets being done, and they either make them uppercase or they make them lowercase, but you don't often see them where you can get both sets. Admittedly, they're not in one purchase, because obviously that would be a bigger purchase than maybe what you want to do at the time. But you can buy the uppercase, and then of course you can go on to buy the lowercase afterwards. And the other thing is, you do, on the lowercase, you do get the punctuations, and you also get these lovely extra little bits of, you get the 4 hearts, you actually get a couple of little stars as well. So that's all fun. Oh, and the ampersand you get on that one as well. So really great fun to use. So we're going to use those this evening, but I have got the actual words out that I need. So first of all, we're going to prepare our bits and pieces. So we've got our, again, we're using the profile die. All the profile dies I use at this desk. They're used and used and used and used, because they are absolutely spot on. I love using them. I think they're a fantastic buy. They cut with such crispness and such precision. I'll be honest with you, I can't be doing with it when you can't get a good cut from a die that you've spent money, you're decent earned money on, and you're messing about with it. Can't be doing with it. So anyway, so that's my...
Gail's just popped in.
Hello, Gail. Thank you for joining us. So for the happy, we're actually going to be using the base on the black. We've got some no shed glitter card, which is rather lovely, and we're actually using it on the layer to make a matten layer as well in the back. Now I will tell you now, I have gutted that inside bit because it's just you know, it's a waste if you don't. So when we mean gutting, I know it sounds a bit harsh, doesn't it? But if you cut a square out of your, if it's a little bit like your glitter cards, your more expensive cardstock, it's such a waste to actually use for mat and layer without actually taking the inside out. As long as you leave enough to actually show and enough to stick your top piece of card down, it really doesn't matter. And you can get, so I've got at least two, possibly three of these backgrounds of the happy out of that, which, and I would have maybe have stuck them down, you know, I would have, if I'd have just used the piece of cardstock, it would have been a waste, wouldn't it? So I'm sure we all do that though, and if you don't, you must do it. Nobody knows, well, you all do now obviously. Right, so what we need to do first is we need to, underneath this top layer, there's actually another layer of cardstock. Now, I'm just going to pop that there out of my way a second. Now, what we're going to do, now this, I'll tell you what it measures. It's just 5.5 inches square. And what we're going to do is we are going to stick our different colours of paper down. Now, what I'm doing is, the last time we did this, I actually did double-sided adhesive, and I do have that. I have that, and I've used it already on one of the other samples, but I thought I would show you something different. If you didn't have the double-sided adhesive in, you can always use, obviously, a glue runner. I've only gone halfway over, so we can and top that up in a second. So all we need to do now is we need to just cover this piece of card very, very simply with strips of paper. And like I say, these strips can be anything that you've had left over from something. Make sure that it goes right up to the actual the last one. And I would say maybe they're not even half an inch in width. You don't want them any bigger. I know. I know you're thinking, well, the bigger they are, the quicker they'll cover. But you don't really want that because the letters from the Sweet Pea alphabet are very dainty. And I'm just hearing Mark say, yeah, just like you. And he's not really, I'm joking. That I'm the least dainty person you ever did wish to meet. Right, so let's have a look. Blue again. A little bit of purple going on, so let's have another one of those. It doesn't matter if you do them the same sequence or if you give it, you know, sort of do, or you can even, you don't have to go from top to bottom. Obviously when you turn it around, that's how it's going to be. You can always go across if you wanted to. That'd be a nice jazzy pattern. It'd be quite nice. Now we need some more tape runner.
Got Joan, Jax and Penny's just dropped in.
Joan,
Jax and Penny.
the glue runner's run out. Oh. Well, that's not very good, is it? Well, never mind. What I'll do is I'll do a couple more bits. And being we're actually in our unit, actually working, but all our stock is, Mark's very kindly running and going to get me one. So it's quite handy. There we go. Right.
Right at the back of the unit, that's why I had to run very fast.
Give over, it was not. That's worked your tea off, has it? There we go.
Really?
Right, so just one roll down, that's sufficient. There we go. Now, like I say, you could use double-sided adhesive sheets. Just cut a square off, stick it down, and then off you go with it. So it really is up to you. So you do need to just continue to the end. Just make them nice, nice variations of colour. Now this is where you can be more specific. Obviously you can go with, say if it was a man's card, obviously go with a masculine feel of the colours, or teenagers. If it's boys, obviously, you know, sort of bright modern blues, and of course it's a girl pinks, purples, glittery bits and bobs, you know, all that sort of thing. So just you do it as you wish. When you've done, just give it a bit of a firm down. Now you will notice, oh, I just need to tidy that end up because this is going to be matted onto the...
Oh, Brian's tried some of the Guinness and he reckons it's good.
Oh, the 0%?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, is it, Brian? Because I'm not a drinker, and I must admit, I think Guinness tastes absolutely adorable. Obviously, drink sensibly and all that. Everybody, you know, as you're supposed to say. Oh, that's my train of thought there.
0%.
But I actually was really, really surprised at how nice it tasted. Very, you know, obviously very similar to the real event. Anyway, so I've got some bits left over, so of course we can use those for something else. Now you will notice on the card I have actually only done birthday here. All right, so you're perhaps thinking, well, you didn't really need to do your strips all the way down. You're right, I didn't need to do it, but if I hadn't have done it, if your cardstock's not really good quality cardstock, say like a 250 onwards GSM on the top, you will notice that it's got a slight indent going down if you haven't got a layer of the paper underneath. And to be honest, it's just as well just to do the whole strip than it is just to do this bit. Okay, so if you are thinking that, I know where you're coming from with that. Okay, so that is our piece that is going to go. So we've got our card blank, we've got our black no shade glitter that I am actually going to gut that piece. Alright, I'll do it now and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You don't need a ruler or anything, well, unless you're not confident to actually cut it like this. Obviously nice sharp blade on your knife. Now I've got all of this to use for something else. I can, like I say, I can get about 3 of these on from that piece of card that I would have covered up. So a little bit of tip to save a little bit of money. Right, so that's going to go on there. Then this is going to go on top of that there. Now, if you wanted to, of course you could, do you know, should we do it like that this time, just to see what, have I got a big enough variation of colour? No, we're going to stick with the plan. We'll stick with the plan and we'll keep it like that. I'll stick them together in a minute. So that's going to go on the next layer. And then this layer is when we're actually going to cut our birthday words out. Now, I've got all my birthday letters put together here. And it's pretty much about, going to be about there. There. So you do need to fasten them down obviously with low tack tape, and if you've never seen this low tack tape, I have to say it is rather good because it doesn't pull, look, it sticks, but it doesn't pull off bits of your card and spoil your card when you take it off. Alright, so that's that. Now I'm actually going to pass this to Mark because, and I think the ones that watched me last month die cutting, my die cutter is just the other side of the room because that's where my plugs are. Well, that particular plug and what have you. So it saves me getting up, walking around. It's not because I'm being lazy, it's just that I can be getting on with something else whilst Mark's very kindly doing that for me. So I've got my little one here, which is, I'm sure lots of us have got these little ones in different types and everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut. So I've got a piece of the strips of coloured paper that I've put on double-sided. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, there we go, and just take that, and just stick that onto there, all right, to give it a little bit more substance. And then we're actually going to cut the happy from the profile die in the strips. So this is basically an extension of what I've got there, but I did that bit earlier just to save a little bit of time. So just wind that through. These little machines are very handy. I used to have a Cuttlebug, but sadly it went to the Cuttlebug cemetery, and I think that's, I'm going to just run that through once more, because I'll tell you why, not because the die isn't good, because by golly it is. It's because I've got, actually, with the double-sided and the card and the paper, I've got 3 layers there. So I am going to just make sure. That's it, fabulous. There we go, look, can you see? That just pops out like so. Have you got, I need the actual piece of, that's it. Mark's very kindly given me the actual letters, but I need that bit. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. You would think I would need the alphabets, wouldn't you? But I don't. I need the negative
listening
this time. It's okay. It's fine. Thank you for your help. Right, so I'm just popping this out here like so, and just put that to one side. This is the double-sided, by the way, if you haven't seen that before. If you're a new crafter and you haven't seen it, this is one of our best sellers. It's absolutely fantastic. It is brilliant. It's a woodware product. I use it an awful lot, especially for dies that are quite fine. You're going to have, you know, you're going to struggle a little bit more to actually get your sticky tape on them. So it is worth, it's worth having a little look at that sometime. So now we've got that fantastic happy, there we go, in that lovely, lovely colour scheme. And now we're going to cut the actual out, oh, we've got a bit here, the outline, which is on the No Shed Black, as I said before, because that is, it's just carrying on with the background and everything else as well. So how gorgeous is that? And that's a really good weighty cardstock, but it cuts like a dream. Right, so of course in the profile dies, there's a whole range of them. We've got, oh gosh, now then, this is going to test me. We've got Thank You. We've got Merry Christmas. I do believe it's Merry Christmas. Have we got, is it you?
Yeah, you.
You. Have I said thank you? Yeah. Yes, I have.
Yeah, so that's it. That's,
yeah.
So it's thank and you.
That's right, yes. So I've got the base. I've put my glue on the back there. I'm using my That's Crafty glue as always. And just very lightly, just pressing it down. Now if you have any scrap around, or actually I've got this bit of waste here, just press down nice and firmly so that the glue sort of adheres. I find that's a lot easier. Now there might be a couple of little bits of glue just coming through, that doesn't matter, it dries clear and it will be absolutely fine. So that's our top part. Now this is the part that Mark kindly cut for me. Let's just undo the tape. And the cut, like I say, this is the sweet pea. I fastened that down really well, didn't I? There we go. So if we just lift that off now. Now what we do need to save is, oh, might have to have got those bits, but never mind. Just pop that back in there. We could save the, oh, maybe I haven't got those. It doesn't matter on this occasion. Right, so we're going to place this on top of there. I'm going to use the middle bit of the bee in there. Which way have I done? Oh, I haven't stuck it down yet. Oh, bolly. Right, so let's have a little look which way we're going to do it then. Right, we'll stick this down first. Okay. Now we could, if you've got loads of time and you don't want to use a knife, you could always use a square die to cut that out, and then of course you've got a perfect square then to use for something else instead of it being higgledy-piggledy. But it makes no odds because of course obviously nobody's going to see it, are they? Right, then we need to stick this bit down. There we go. And we'll stick this one on top. So that is going underneath. There we are. And then this bit is going on the top. Oh, I just need to just trim that down a tad. Let me just check. Yep, let's just cut that down a little bit. Okay, just take a little slither off the top there. That's now then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, because I want to show a little bit on that bottom bit of the actual paper. I didn't on the other one, and then afterwards I thought, oh, I wish I had done that. I'll show you what I mean. There, that's it, lovely. So if you can see right at the top and just at, put that out the way, and just at the bottom you can see you've got a little bit showing there and a little bit showing there. So that's actually fabulous. I'm really pleased with that's it, lovely. That positioning's good. And look how the birthday has come out. It's really nice, isn't it? So now then.
That's going to be a girly card because there's a lot more pink in there. Too much pink for a boy.
Oh, I don't know. Boys are allowed to have pink if they want. But yes, I suppose it is a bit of a girly card. I'm just taking off where the adhesive's been. I've just got a couple of little marks. I'm just using my magic rubber just to get the marks off. For anybody that hasn't got one of these, I know it looks grubby, but I promise you it actually isn't, because I do keep washing it. I wash it under the tap, but this gets adhesive off really, really well. That's what it's for. It's that's what it's called. I don't know what they're called. What are they called?
Yes.
If anybody that's not a crafter came in and saw that, they'd think, what on earth is that? Anyway, so that's how it's going to sit. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to just add a little bit, tiny bit of detail with, oh, let's look, this is my favourite stencil. So I'm just going to add a little bit using, I've got a pink on my brush already, so I don't need to add any more. I'm just going into the middle a little bit more, just give it a little bit more of an accent. How gorgeous is that? I just love it. Love it. We're using the same flower. There we go. Just go around the edge and then again just on its tip. Just into the middle. A little bit on that edge there. Just show that it's popping out. There we go. And then just on the bottom, just a little hint of it there, and I think we'll have one other one there. There we go. So just makes it just that little bit extra something, and if you want you can also just add a little bit here and there, just going around. There we go. So Happy with that. There we go. So we've got our, just wipe my fingers so I don't get all finger marks everywhere. So we've got now our background, look, and then we'll put our happy, no we won't, we'll stick this onto the main base first. There we go. I'm going to use just a tape runner just for speed. There we go. Might put a little bit there, a little bit there. Oh. And then if you just make sure you've got that little bit showing at the top, a little bit showing at the bottom. I really like that bit, the showing. I think it just adds a little bit of something. I don't know what, but we'll go with the word something. And then pop that. Now, of course, you can lift that if you wanted to, or you can just leave it as it is because it's lifted already. Obviously, it's got several layers on. So if we're being mindful about the old postage situation, which I don't really want to talk about because it's a bit depressing, but right, so I've got the black and white. There we go, let's just put these on. In one in the middle of that flower there, because we can do that because it looks quite nice. And just if you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this. I think it just adds a little bit of something, doesn't it? Just to add yeah, I think we've got, I'm not sure if we have the circles anymore actually, I do beg your pardon, I shouldn't have maybe have used those, but we do have the, we have the hearts now, don't we, which are these ones. Yeah, so these are the glosses, the Stormy Skies in the hearts. So these are just some that I've had for a little while. Now, I'm just putting in I've got the centre bits, not for everything unfortunately, but I've got a few bits of the centres, and I think that's the, no, we'll just put the bee, in fact I don't think we will, to be honest. I think I'm going to just leave them all free. That's it, so we can see it says birthday, can't we? So that's our first offering. So like I say, it's the going down into the cardstock rather than with this one coming up. So a little bit different, very similar, a little bit different idea. You've got a bit of stenciling on the top there. So that's one idea there. So we'll just pop that to one side. And we've got our bit of card there ready for another day. Right then, so let's just get my little box of tricks that I've got ready for the next one. Okay, so which one should we do? I'm going to very quickly talk you through this one because I do really want to show you the third one. So what we're going to do, I've got a lot of this prepared, and there's a reason for this because there was quite a lot of bits and pieces that I needed to do on this one. It's not stuck down. So again, we're going to use the sweet pea, but we're going to do it a more, well, a masculine feel, or you know, sort of teenager type idea. And what we are using on this one, as well as the sweet pea uppercase, we are actually using Eurostar set, which I'm sure lots of you have got. If you haven't got the actual dies Eurostar, and you have got the stamps that Hazel brought out, all about the boys, or different things like that, you could maybe coordinate the stamps maybe with what we're doing here with the letters. So mix and match what you have as well. So that's you know, just because I'm showing you one way, doesn't mean to say you have to do it this way. You can mix and match. And also, of course, the colours as well. You don't need to actually do the same colours if you don't want to. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've actually done my my stars and my letters. Now, the reason being because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to emboss. I'm going to emboss the letters. So this piece, right, so I've got a piece of card here, and what I need to do is I need to actually use this piece of card and cover it with embossing powder. So the one that I'm using, I've just got out of my embossing powders, and I'm sure you've got lots of different ones, but I've got the Wow. This is an embossing powder. It's one of them that they designed quite a few years ago for Chloe. Chloe's Crafts, Chloe Endine, and this one's called Hula. But obviously you use what embossing powders that you've got. I do love the Wow powders. There's no question at all. They are an exceptional brand. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cover a piece of cardstock. I'm using it in my actually I don't need to use that for a minute. I'm going to use my Versamark and obviously the embossing powder. So with the Versamark, excuse the colour of it, but it works perfectly fine. And if anybody can tell me how they keep their Versamark pristinely white the whole time, well, I'll give them an award. I'll put them in for an NTA. Here we go. So I'm just patting. I'm not rubbing it over. If you actually pull it over, yes, it will ink up, but it will obviously you're going to get areas that hasn't been covered with the embossing ink. I'm hoping that everybody knows what Versamark is, but just in case, it's actually a sticky ink which we use for embossing powders. Using with embossing powders, sorry. So just putting it in my little tray there, because of course embossing powder goes everywhere. And so basically what we're doing here is we are embossing, we're going to emboss the letters. Alright. But instead of embossing every letter, my suggestion is to actually emboss one piece of card, because it's a lot quicker. Alright, so just, oh well, I've just had that, just knock that off. So knock your excess off, and then I'll put that back in the tub in a second. And then of course you need to heat it. So I have got a glass mat, so I'm lifting it up from the glass mat. So if you let it on, you heat it on the glass mat, what will happen is you'll get condensation underneath your piece of card. So hopefully you can see it changing. There we go. So you can see those gorgeous, look at those gorgeous colours. Aren't they just really lovely? So what you're doing here is you are making your own glitter card. Right, I've got a little patch there that I maybe need a little bit more on. I'm not going to worry unduly because I know that time is of the essence. Now, so this is exactly what I did to then make, I did a longer piece, and then I laid my sweet pea alphabet die letters on it and then cut them out. So now I've got all of my letters, and I've stuck them onto a piece of glitter card, white glitter card, and the glitter card is 1 inch by 1.5 inches. The reason why I haven't done them square, the initial idea was I was going to do them as little squares and actually stick them on. The thing is with the sweet pea alphabet, it's obviously longer. It's quite a narrow alphabet, so you've got a little bit of length there. So I wanted to put it on a DL card, which is what I've got here, with a bit of backing paper on, which goes with the whole theme. And I knew that if I put these on inch by inch or whatever, they wouldn't go on and they wouldn't fit across, you know, sort of
they wouldn't fit. The 1.5 inches square would not fit. It'd be far too long, and it seemed a little bit of a shame. So I thought, no, we'll just go with that. But I think they look quite nice anyway. So now what we've got is we now need to put. We're using the profile die. Okay. I've got this piece, and I'm going to cut. Now then, which way should I do it? Should I do the profile underneath, or should I do the... that's a good question. I don't know. Let's have a look, see what space I've got available. Right, so we've got space for the happy, we've got space for the happy on there. I've got a bit... I can actually get the base... No, I'm not going to whisk it. I'm going to stick the happy on there. Okay, and we're going to cut the happy out of the glitter card that we've just made. Get my little plates. This is where these little machines come in so handy. And also, because obviously we practically live here because we spend that much time here, but when I want to take anything home, I don't actually have a work room at home because I work here, but I can take this little machine and take it home and do some die cutting at home, which is quite handy. Right, so I've gone back on myself purely because I had got the embossing on this and I didn't want it not to cut, but look at how beautiful that's cut, and look at that. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? It really, really is. So no matter what embossing powder you've got, you can, whatever colour, just coordinate everything with it. And then basically what you're getting is you're getting designer glitter card and every single thing on your actual project, no matter what you're doing, whether it's home decor or whether it's a card, scrapbooking, whatever, is all going to coordinate really, really lovely. So, which personally I think
Vanessa's got to go, but she'll be watching the catch-up.
Oh, thank you ever so much, Vanessa. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Right, so we're going to stick these two together now. So I'll do the... That was my little note, look. On there. Okay, so some glues won't stick on top on top of glitter, okay, but this particular glue will, and I'm sure lots of you have got the glues that will, but some won't, so be mindful of that. I'm just using this bit of thing just to press it down so that I don't get it all over. So now look, we've got that lovely happy profile die, which I am going to, that will stick on there. I know it will because it
Tracy said she loves the profile dies.
Oh, honestly, Tracy, I'm just going to press that down for a few minutes. I have to actually take myself away from them sometimes to not use them because I just use them so much. They're so useful. Right, I'm just putting my my word out, my birthday, and what, like we said, I've done all the letters exactly the same as I did the stars and how I just did that one that you saw. Let's see if that's stuck now. Oh, it is, look. So all I could do was just got my block and just pressed it down a bit. Now what I want to do is I want to put, so you can see that only just about goes, but I am going to do them, sort of twist them around a little bit. But I want to put my happy on first, so then I can work around actually
being happy.
Work around being happy.
Yeah.
Yay! Right, so I'm going to pop that in the middle. There we go. Just like so. And then I've got my stars. I may not use them all, I may use them all, it depends. So I'm just going to just drop them around where I want them to be. So when you see cards in the shop, I'm not going to say buy them because, oh my lord, why on earth do you buy a card out of a shop? because when you've got all these beautiful things to use. So when you do see cards in shops though, you see that everything matches. Well, of course they're manufactured that way, aren't they? But of course you can do it yourself with very, very little effort really. Just going to pop that one there. I'm now going to pop my birthday down. Just pop that one on. There we go. So I'm going to put that one there as it was, because I'm going to put I'm going to put the actual bee just over. Now these might have a little bit of glitter at the back of them, so they might take a minute just to adhere, but I'll just keep popping them down, just overlapping them slightly. If you don't press them down too much, you can actually jiggle them around afterwards if you want. And if you've got your card straight on your mat, I mean, I use this as a guide all the time. I would be lost without it, if you know, with when I'm doing this sort of thing, because you know, if that's level here with a line that's level there, you know pretty much that this is all going to be level at the bottom by eye. So it is worth thinking about that. So I haven't pressed them all down properly, because just in case I don't have enough room, but I do. Just might need to just push these along a little bit. There we go. Much longer and I wouldn't have been able to move them, but that's okay. I have been able to, so that's good. That's it. That one there. That one there. And that one there. Let's just... Yeah, lovely. I think they look pretty straight, don't they? Now you can see why I put these two stars on before I put my birthday on, because they've just tucked under a little bit. I'm going to put another one up there. These are all from that set, and I might put that one overlapping there. Tiny one there. Tiny one there. Now I do have another one, but I'm not going to worry about that because I think that will do me just fine. So I'm going to get rid of these because they're now covered in glitter, and that they'll be no good to nobody. So obviously I would give that a few minutes just to set and everything, but that one is using the sweet pea, obviously the happy profile die, the stars, but if you don't have the star dies, then of course you've got maybe you've got the stamp sets from Hazel's lovely collection, or whatever you have got, you know, just to make it whatever design that you want. But the whole point of that project to show you is that you can actually make your own glitter card, make them into the letters, and you can emboss the letters as well. Okay, so that's that one. So we'll just move that one out of the way, because that's very glittery and very... I know it's just 8 o'clock, but hopefully you'll stick with me so that I can show you this one, because I absolutely love this one. Well, I've loved all of them actually. Well, I could get a little bit obsessed with doing things with letters, because I've had so many ideas that I would like to do. So this one, right, so is that dry now? Because actually I only decided to do the embossing with the glitter paste after I decided what to do with this earlier on actually. So yes, it is dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the now we could go either way with this one, but we are going to use the other alphabet. So we've used the sweet pea one twice this evening, but we are going back to the original alphabet, the uppercase. Now the reason why I've chosen this one for this technique is because it's got more depth to it. It's a thicker letter, and it's obviously going to be easier for what we want to do with it. So just pop that to one side. I'll talk you through what we're going to use and everything. So I've got Pippa's absolutely gorgeous set of stamps, which I use and I use and I use. And I've actually got one missing. Look there, Pippa. I've got that, Philippa. Look. I'm really cross. It's bound to be somewhere, so I'm not actually terribly worried. But I was a little bit cross when I was looking at it earlier on. Got my stamps there. So this is obviously the alphabet that we're going to be using, which is actually the uppercase alphabet, which is the 1011, and it's all uppercase. Okay, and we are, like I say, we're also going to be using Philippa's stamp set. I think you need to make some more stamps, Philippa. Right, so I'm going to be, I've got the, sorry, that's sticky on there for a reason. I've got the letters cut out already, but what I did was I stuck them all together like so, like we did for the birthday, and I just then ran them through in white smooth cardstock. Okay, I didn't think you needed to see me doing that because you've seen me doing that several times. Now I've got a piece of cardstock here. I don't think we're going to have enough time to show you how I actually did this one, because it's going to take a little bit more time, but I'm going to explain it to you. But this, I'm going to do something very similar, okay, with this one. So the letters here, what I did was I took a piece of cardstock, a little bit bigger than this, and I stamped it all up. I'll show you on a little part of it, so we're not seeing enough as such. And what I did, I used the VersaFine Claire. Obviously you use whatever colour scheme that you want, you know, like I said before, it's your project, so you use whatever you want. We'll go for a slightly bigger stamp on the first one, so we can do a bit more coverage. I'll only do a small area because obviously time's pressing a little bit, but basically I took my stamps and I just covered, do one more of these. I just love these stamps, honestly. Philippa, they're so, I love the feel of them. I think they're really retro. I will clean them afterwards. So retro, they're so happy feeling. So just, this is a smaller one of the bigger one. Now I don't normally take my stamp to the ink, but on this occasion, because we're wanting to get a wriggle on, I am going to do. Just clean that up, pop it back on there. So on this particular set we've got these beautiful little roses as well. I'm going to do some of those in blue. You can see exactly how I did this, but on a bigger piece. So just going with it. Obviously because they're clear stamps you can see where you're going to go. We'll go with the heart as well. Now then we'll have a couple of blue heart here. So I love the solids as well in here. I think they really make a great addition. Solid there. Put that down, and then I think we'll go with this little one again and do some little blue ones. See if we can sneak one in at the end there, and one there. Try not to do too many of one thing, because obviously you want to vary it as much as you can. And this is a smaller version of these ones, which is lovely. All hand drawn by Philippa. There we go. Oh, she's clever go. Right. There we are. Just stick that back on. And then on this set, which is one of my very favourite stamps, is this little one, which has got 3 little dots. and it is absolutely fabulous for filling in the blanks. So this is how you get to do a little rub of that, because I want to just change the colour. Your own little backing paper. Fabulous. I love doing it because it just, every single time, you're never ever going to get the same twice. And a couple of little blue ones. There we go. Gap there. Any more? One there. That's it. That's it. Stop now, she says. One more there. Right, so if you can imagine, I'm just going to put that little tiny one back on the stamp set. One there. That's the one. Got put it on. There we go. Put the lids on properly. That's it. Just put those on there. So these are the first one, Claire. So you use what you want. If you've got different colours, you know. So as you can imagine, what we did was we just continued across. Imagine a whole A4 piece. Take you why, but how much fun would you have? And then what I did was I actually came in with a brush. I'm just going to quickly, very quickly, just, I didn't have to do this earlier because I just put it to one side for a few minutes, but it will stay a little bit wet for a few minutes. But then what I did was I've just gone around and put some purple over the top. Now if I'd done that when it was still wet, it would have just smudged it all and it would have wasted your time. So if you can imagine the whole piece like that. There you go. How quick is that? And that's just what was on my brush. I haven't put any extra on. So I'm just going to bring this in. So I did a piece big enough to have the tops of the letters and also the panel here and a panel at the top. Okay. Then what I did was I cut these letters out of white glitter card. I then cut thank you out of the patterned paper, and then I use the base. I'd use the base as the glitter card letters as the base, and then I cut these in half to actually place them on the top. And of course then what you've got is you've got matching paper with the tops of the letters as well. It's quite, I think it's quite lovely actually. I think it makes it look so very professional. It makes it look like you know what you're doing. She says. Right, now a different way of doing it. I'm going to just show you. Obviously I'm not going to do it with all the letters because we'll be here all night. But what I'll do is I will do it with you. Y-O-U. So I've got the thank you.
What, not me?
No, not you.
Oh.
No, not you. You.
You. Oh.
Now this is actually a piece of gridded paper that you find in your Crafts 2 stamping press, but you could use anything that's got a grid on it or lines on it, or you could just make your own. So what I've done here is, you can see that that's sticky. I've used a couple of bits, a couple of lines of my tape runner. The reason for doing this is because I need them to stay still. But what I want to do is I want to actually stamp the bottom half of the letters and not the top half. So I'm just going to, it doesn't matter that there's gaps in between because you're not obviously going to leave them on here. I'm only using the sticky to keep them in place. So obviously when I start stamping them, I'm not going to get them, or it's not going to wriggle about. Now the other thing that you need to do, if you want just one half doing, whether it's the top or whether it's the bottom, you obviously need to mask out. Now then, here's my tape. You obviously need to mask out your top or bottom, whichever you don't want stamping. So to create a nice straight line, which we're going to do, we're going to use the lines on the actual grid, okay, and just cover them up, just like that. Very, very simple. Now for this particular one I'm going to use the same colour because it's going to be a lot quicker. Alright, so you can then go over on top of the actual masking because it's going to come off, isn't it? So it looks as though you're going over the line. Actually no, I will use different colours because it won't look quite as nice as what I would like it to. So they're only, you know, you don't need a great deal, but these stamps are perfect for the job because they're lovely and dainty. What we have, this little one here. So you do need the smaller ones of the set on these letters. I think this should be small enough just to dibble up there. That's it. That's a technical term, by the way, if nobody's heard about it.
Dibble.
Dibble.
Officer Dibble.
Yeah. Top glad. Right. I think that's enough. Don't think we can get. Oh, we might need to get a couple of these little dots in. I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm going to push my luck if I do that. And I don't want to overstamp on what I've done. What I've done already, because it would be a bit of a shame. Now, I do need to just very quickly be careful because obviously that will shrivel up. Just very quickly dry that, and then we'll take this off. And now what we've got is, oh, come off, that's it. Now then, I need something black. Here we go. Let's just use this to show you. There we go. Oh, that's stuck a bit firmly on there, but it doesn't matter. There we go. There we are, look. Ah, it looks quite good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you've got a lovely, neat line. You've only stamped halfway up, or if you wanted to, you could go from the top to the middle. You can, obviously you can stamp the whole lot, but I just think that it looks really good, and people think, oh, now then, that's clever. How's that been done? Yeah, so there you go. You can use that again, obviously, if you want to. You can just cut a bit off and just throw that little bit of waste away. So, just get back on all the bits that we've had. Oh, look at my messy desk now. Let's just bring together what we've got and just go through all the bits that we've done. There we go. So that was the first one. So we've used sweet pea. We've gone underneath rather than over.
This looks like 70s retro.
It does, doesn't it? It does. Those stamps are so retro. You can imagine in the 60s having a bit, a shirt or a blouse or your jeans with these great big flowers on. I just think they're fantastic. Philippa, you're so. I just love the set. I really do. Anyway, so here we go. So stencils in the background, and we did that one, and then the second one. Oh, I've got a thank you stuck to me. Here we go. So the second one. This is the one where we've embossed the letters, and then we've also embossed our embellishment bits and also the top of the profile die. We've used it with the glitter, so that makes it look really professional because you've got all the same colours. And then, of course, last but by no means least, We've got our thank you card. Oh, and this is one of the foilables, the sentiments of the foilables. Okay, so I've took one of those. I didn't foil it. I just thought, you know, it just looks nice up there. Nice little thank you card. And on the background, I did use this stencil. Actually, I left it out to show you. So I've used this stencil, which is one of the mixed backgrounds from Julie, and just put some
Cath Kitson.
Cath Kitson. Oh, do you know what?
Yeah.
Every time I use them, I think about that. Who said that?
Tracy.
Tracy. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I used, on the background, by the way, Cosmic Shimmer, the Sparkle Texture Paste, if anybody's wondering what that is.
Oh, Anne's got the Top Cat theme going round in her head now.
Oh, sorry, Anne. It's good though, isn't it? So yeah, so that's how we did. So we made our own background papers, just showing you how we did that. Just like this. And then of course we, I did, that was with the papers stuck on the top, but then I've just shown you how we can do it with having a nice straight line and then just stamping them directly onto the actual letters themselves. So we'll just turn the camera around. I know we've gone slightly over, but
Slightly? Yes.
no, it's fine. It's fine. You haven't got a date, have you?
I just want meat. Supper, that's all.
He wants his supper. Bless him. How old are you? Come on. I'll just turn you around. Here we go. There we are. There we go. So, hopefully, everybody's enjoyed that. Oh, that's where it was influenced from. Philippa. Influence from Cath Kidston. Now, oh, absolutely. Fantastic. I love it. I really do. Honestly, Philippa, it's one that we can see. They're used and used and used, and we use them in the class so much. Thank you ever so much, Linda. I really hope that everybody's enjoyed part 2 of our alphabets. Oh, Andreen, smashing Andreen. Thank you for coming in. It's always a pleasure to see. Thank you. You know, have a little go. Mix and match them up. Why not? You know, do your using your thank you, Anne. Using your embossing powders, just using them on your profile dies would be fantastic, obviously. And just think about how you can make your papers as well. So, Marion, thank you ever so much. Thank you. I'm pleased you've enjoyed it. So, like I said at the beginning, this will be kept on, will be put onto YouTube, and it will be kept on there. I don't know how long for. Hopefully, for as long as what we want it. I've just noticed my background wall is a bit higgledy-piggledy. I do apologise. We're going through a bit of a move at the moment, so it's everything's all a little bit of a shambles. But anyway, we've got there, haven't we, this evening? Hopefully, I think everybody's enjoyed it. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Walsh. She gets the form. That's my mum. Yeah, it's given you a few little ideas of what to do with your alphabets, and also, obviously, your stencils, and of course, Philippa's wonderful stamps. Okay, so just a quick reminder as well, of course, there's always lots and lots of inspiration on Pinterest from under the Julie Hickey designs. We've got lots and lots and lots of boards on there, and for you to have a look at, and we always put our cards on there as well for you to have a look at on there as well. Also, Julie has got a live on Friday. Philippa, I'm sorry, you might need to just remind me of what time it is. I do know it's Friday the 13th, but that shouldn't affect anybody, hopefully. And if you do stay in bed for Friday the 13th, then you can sit and look at the live, can't you? Yes, so Julie's got that, and she's going to be using the creator cards. We've got stocked up on those on our website in good time. I love the creator cards. 10:30. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you ever so much, Tracy. Do appreciate that. So 10:30 on here. Thank you, Philippa. Julie will be doing her live, showing you lots and lots and lots of ideas and refreshing you
on the creator card, and of course they can be left as they are, they can be coloured and they can be foiled as well. So yeah, if you can, please join in, that would be wonderful. And also one more thing, just check out the obviously the all across the board on all the Julie Hickey sites, because we do all put all the design team put inspiration on there every day. In fact, some of us we have several on some days, don't we? Some of us put one on, and then Tracy will, and Philippa will, and then we've got lots. So thank you. Oh, thank you, Jean. Thank you ever so much for everybody joining in. I really appreciate it, and hopefully see you soon. Okay, have a lovely rest of the evening. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.